Your first step to reinventing your image, upgrade your profile photo. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Tinder, gents, doesn't matter. Most likely you're using an older photo. Let's level things up. Let's get a great picture of you online. So how to get a better picture? Gentlemen, remember three things. It's about the subject, it's about the lighting, and it's about the angle. So the subject, that's you. You want to wear clothing that makes you look good. You want to have a background that's non-distracting, and you want to get the picture by yourself, preferably a headshot up close. Now, when it comes to lighting, preferably you do this outside in the evenings or the mornings. That's going to be the best light. If it's in the middle of the day, make sure to be in the shadows. Watch out for a harsh contrast on the face. And if you're indoors, make sure that the light is coming towards you, not behind you, because you don't want to have a silhouette. And let's not forget camera angle. If you don't want a photo to end up being flat, then you change the angle just a bit. You get a bit more of a dramatic photo. Or if you want to hide a flaw, go a little bit high, you get rid of a double chin. Next up, subscribe to a few men's lifestyle magazines that you enjoy. Don't want to spend money on magazines? Then find a few men's clothing retailers that send out a catalog. The point here is I want you to set up a system. Get a monthly reminder that you have committed to dressing well. When you get a magazine and you peruse through it, even if you just take one thing, you find a fragrance that you like, you find a pair of shoes, you find a jacket that you think looks great, you rip it out and you put it on a board and you keep track, you're looking for something like this, you are getting inspiration. And speaking of subscription, gentlemen, are you subscribed to RMRS? If not, click on that subscribe button. And if you are a subscriber, make sure that you click on that bell notification so that you know when we put out new videos. Now, if you're going through the magazine and you find that just tearing out pages and pinning them to a board is too old school, but you still want to pin things, guys, check out Pinterest. Gents, if you haven't checked out the RMRS Pinterest account, you're in for a treat. We've got tons of pins, tons of style inspiration images we are putting on our boards, so go check it out. I will link to it down in the description. And if Pinterest isn't your thing, don't worry, guys. We've got you covered over on Instagram. We post about 3 times a day. If you haven't checked out our Instagram account, go check it out, guys. I will link to it down in the description. The next tip to level up your style in 2020, buy a watch, but not just any watch, an esoteric watch, one that maybe not too many people have heard of. I love to find a micro brand that no one is really talking about except in the forums, but people are saying great quality, great watches, and go find that watch and support them. Go buy from them. Justin over at Monta, absolutely love the watches that they're putting out. I've got 2 of their watches I bought with my own money. They actually give you this ability to go and build your own watch within certain parameters. The point being they use high quality components, just great watches. And that's what's fun, is when you're wearing a watch, when everyone else is wearing a Tudor, wearing a Rolex, you've got a Monta and you know the story behind it. And that's what I love about esoteric small brands that people haven't heard of but still are producing good quality pieces. The next tip to transform your style in 2020, grab a carry-on that is going to turn heads. So I talked about this company years ago, Colonel Littleton, and this grip is made from buffalo hide. This thing is absolutely amazing. It's incredibly unique. It's the hardware that sets it apart. This is built off of an old type of train bag, basically a stagecoach bag that was around in the 1800s. Absolutely love the style and design. Every time I have used this traveling, I get compliments. I get people stopping me. And if you appreciate it, when you buy something that is going to last longer than you will, and is going to grab a little bit of attention, it's a fun thing to do if you want to level up your style. Now, a less flashy way to reinvent your image is to become a box guy. And what I mean by that is that you've got boxes for your things, because when you need to find your shoe shine gear, guess what? It is in your shoe shine box. When you're looking for all your watches, in your watch collection, you've got them in your watch box. And gents, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't need to make this overly complex. You can go with a simple box that can hold your jewelry, your watches, your sunglasses, or even a simple catch-all where you can put your loose change in your wallet. The key is to be able to find your items so when you get dressed in the morning, you can look good because you know where everything's at. Next up, I want you to purchase 3 pocket squares. Now, these 3 pocket squares, you can go with white, you can go with variations of such, but here's the thing, is you're gonna store them in your jacket pockets. When you put on that jacket, all of a sudden you got that pocket square there. If you don't like it, take it out. But most likely you're not even gonna notice until you get a compliment and somebody says, wow, you look sharp today. The next tip to reinvent your image, commit to fit. Gentlemen, if it don't fit, you get rid of it, lickety split. What I'm saying here is don't wear clothing that doesn't fit you. It never looks good. If it's too large, get it adjusted to fit your body or donate it. And with that, gentlemen, my next tip to reinvent your image is to love them or leave them. I'm talking about your clothing here, guys. If you don't love what you own, then look to get rid of it. You want to have a closet of clothing that every time you put on that shirt, every time you put on that jacket, every time you pop in that square, you feel amazing. And yes, I know some of you guys much more casual. So get that leather jacket. Maybe spend a bit more money. Cry once, but get what you want. And when you put on that jacket, you feel like $1,000,000. The next tip to reinvent your image, buy something that's outside of your comfort zone. You want to buy maybe a pair of boots, that these are made for a rock star. This is a style that you normally would never even try. People are surprised that you're buying suede. But here's the thing, surprise people. Don't become predictable. Think about, you know what? I've always loved Eric Clapton. I've always loved classic rock. And I just love this Joe Dipper style. I feel like a rock star. When I put these on and they make me a little bit taller, I feel better. I'm going to own these and I'm going to wear them with confidence. And that's the key, gentlemen. You can pull off almost anything if you've got the confidence to wear it. Now, what about Western boots? What about regional clothing? Maybe like the bolo tie, like the guayabera. I think that, guys, if you want to start to bring this into your wardrobe, that would be amazing. Again, it's about confidence. It's about knowing your culture, knowing what is accepted in your area. But if you're in Houston, Texas, or you're in San Antonio, you're down in Mexico, and you realize that, hey, this is my heritage. I want to bring in the guayabera. Find a way to make it work, gentlemen. Learn the rules on wearing it and bring it into your wardrobe. Speaking of boots and shoes, the next tip to reinvent your image, learn to spit shine. Now, there is shining shoes and then there is spit shining shoes. When you can spit shine a shoe, guys, you can see yourself in the reflection here and it puts you on a whole nother level of style. How to spit shine, I will link to my video down in the description where I show you how to do it. The next tip to reinvent your style, find a fragrance which is the polar opposite of your go-to fragrance. Something, you like fresh, you like florals, then you find something that you're like, oh my gosh, this is so different, but yet amazing. Perfect for the colder winter weather. Another option here, guys, is to find something that's been around for a long time. Fragrances that have been around for almost 100 years, fragrances that have been around for 30 to 40 years that are still classics, relatively inexpensive, and that even your great-grandfather probably loved. The next tip to reinvent your style, don't wait and go ahead and try a tribute fragrance. So these aren't exactly counterfeits, but they are inspired by some of the nicer fragrances out there. Maybe you just don't have the dough to go out there and buy a full bottle. You've tried it, you know what it is, but you go out there and you find something for 1/10 the price that actually has more performance and is just as good because you've tried the original. Guys, you'll be surprised what you can find out there when you go out there and look for a fraction of the cost and you get, a very similar performance. The next tip to reinvent your image, cheat on your barber. You've been going to the same guy for 10 years, but you've heard about this stylist across town that she is amazing and she just does wonders with men's hair. Go over, try it out. Yes, you're going to spend a little bit more money, but you may find, I love this new look, and she gives you these ideas. She just does things to your hair, which you never even knew it could do. The point is, guys, go out there and experiment, try something new. Changing up your hairstyle, one of the easiest things that you can do to reinvent your look. All right, so if going to a stylist is a bit much, how about simply when you get out of the shower, you change things up yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. You normally part on this side. How about you part over on this side and go the opposite way? What you're going to find is your hair is going to stand up a bit more, but it's still a very similar look. Not too many people are going to notice. You will, and see if you actually like the look. Or go with a different hairbrush. You use the same hairbrush all the time. This one, can give you a bit of volume. How about you actually push the hair down a bit? Or if you've been using a brush like this, go to something that actually isn't going to push it down as much. Point is, you can easily change up the tools. You can make some changes at home to go for an entirely different look. And let's not forget about heat. If you wanted to try a hair dryer, you can get a lot more volume. You can get your hair to stand up a bit more. And again, the best part about this is if you don't like it, just put your head right back in the shower and just go back to your old style. Now let's talk about products. So if you don't use any product in your hair, a quick way to reinvent your image is to start using something that, let's say you got thinner hair. There are products that you can put in which are going to give you a bit of volume, make your hair just a little bit thicker looking. Or maybe you want something that's just styling cream, something that's just going to keep it in place but isn't going to need a whole bunch of hold. Then you simply find a styling cream. Maybe you want something that has a whole lot of hold and is not going to move throughout the day. You want to look for a gel. Or maybe you want something like a matte mud, something that isn't going to have any shine to it but is going to have hold and give you a nice look and volume. Or maybe you want a pomade. Pomades traditionally are going to have a bit more shine to them. They're going to have a high hold, and that's if you want to go for more the slick down look. The next tip to reinvent your image, this one's big. It's a system change, and that is to level up your uniform, your go-to clothing, the clothing that you feel comfortable wearing. Look at it and say, okay, I went to this dark colored V-neck t-shirt. It's a good looking shirt, but can I level this up by maybe going with a shirt with a collar, maybe a polo, maybe not a polo, maybe a button down, a navy button down. I know that's my go-to. Look at your jeans. Okay, I wore those jeans, go-to pair. I loved them, but I wore them so much they kind of faded. How about you get 3 to 4 pairs, darker in color, that you rotate through so they don't fade as quickly? Then those shoes. Okay, you went with those running shoes. How about upgrading to those boots I showed you earlier? The point is, you've now developed a uniform that you could wear again and again. Doesn't grab a lot of attention. You can dress it up, throw a sports jacket on top of it. You can dress it down, just simply roll up the sleeves. The point is, you've upgraded your go-to uniform, and now you're sending the image you want to send to the world. The next tip to reinvent your image: commit to events which force you to level up your style. So you've been going to the same church for 5 years. How about you volunteer to be an usher, to be someone that seats others? Because guess what? You're going to dress better. You're going to start wearing that suit. Or maybe start off simple. Commit to take your girls to that father-daughter dance. Buy the tickets now. Put yourself in a system where you're going to start dressing better. All right, gents, so what video to watch next? How about 10 luxury items that are worth the money? I had a lot of fun with this video. I think you'll enjoy it. I will link to it down in the description.